There are stories. And then there are warnings disguised as stories. The tale of Bloody Mary falls squarely in the latter category. Passed down through whispers in the dark, it is a name etched in terror, a ritual shadowed in mystery. Some call it a harmless party game, a child's dare meant to thrill and chill. Others call it an invitation, a beckoning to something ancient, restless, and unforgiving. Whatever you believe, one thing is certain. Bloody Mary is not a game you should ever play alone. Let me take you back, not just to the legend, but to the warnings embedded within it. Listen closely. You'll need to understand this story well if you ever hope to avoid its chilling grip. The ritual is deceptively simple, almost innocent in its design. You stand in front of a mirror, preferably in a dimly lit room. The darkness is part of the allure, but it's also part of the danger. Holding a single candle, you stare into your reflection. Your face begins to blur, your features shifting and melting into the shadows. Then, with a steady voice, you chant her name. Bloody Mary. You must repeat it not once or twice, but 3 times. Each repetition is a key, unlocking something hidden on the other side. And on the 3rd utterance, the air grows cold. Your breath fogs the glass. The room feels smaller, suffocating. That's when it happens. Legend has it that Mary appears in the mirror, her face twisted and bloody. She might stand silently, her eyes boring into yours, or she might scream, a sound so shrill and piercing it feels as though it could shatter the glass. Some say she reaches out with ghostly hands, clawing at your reflection. Others swear she steps through the mirror entirely, dragging the unwary into her realm, a place no one returns from. But who is Bloody Mary? What binds her to the mirror? The stories diverge here, each version more harrowing than the last. Some say Mary was a witch, condemned by her village and burned at the stake. Her mirror was the last thing she saw before the flames consumed her, and it became her prison, her eternal torment. Others claim she was a victim of jealousy, betrayed by those she loved and murdered in cold blood. Her spirit lingers, searching for justice or vengeance. Perhaps the most chilling theory is that Mary was never human at all. Some believe she is a demon, a malevolent force disguised as a tragic figure. The ritual then isn't just a game, it's a summoning, a pact made unknowingly by those who dare to speak her name. But how did this ritual come to be? Why the mirror? Why the candle? Why the name spoken thrice? Mirrors have always held a certain mystique. They reflect more than just our images. They are said to reflect our souls. Folklore warns against staring too long into a mirror, for it might reveal something other. Candles, too, carry a symbolic weight. Their light pushes back the darkness, but it is fragile, easily snuffed out. And the act of naming? In many cultures, names hold power. To name something is to give it form, to call it into being. The ritual, then, is a perfect storm of elements. The mirror becomes a portal, the candle a fragile barrier, the name a key. Together, they create a doorway, and Bloody Mary stands waiting on the other side. But let me tell you something that most versions of the story leave out. There are rules, unwritten but unbreakable. You must never play the game alone. You must never mock or insult Mary during the ritual. And most importantly, you must never, under any circumstances, break the mirror. If you do, the consequences are dire. Breaking the mirror is said to release her entirely, severing her bond to the other side. She becomes free to roam, free to haunt, not just the summoner, but anyone unlucky enough to cross her path. There are tales, oh yes, there are tales, of entire families cursed after a single shattered mirror. of towns plagued by apparitions, their residents driven to madness or worse. But perhaps you're skeptical. Perhaps you think this is all just a story, a clever piece of folklore designed to scare the young and gullible. And perhaps you're right. After all, countless people have played the game and walked away unscathed. They laugh, they shrug, they roll their eyes at the absurdity of it all. But then, there are those who don't. Those who leave the room pale and trembling, unable to speak of what they've seen. Those who vanish. Their disappearances are chalked up to mundane explanations, runaways, accidents, foul play. But those who know the legend understand the truth. They know where those people really went. The mirror took them, or rather, she did. So here's my warning, and you do well to heed it. If you ever find yourself in a dimly lit room, staring into a mirror with a candle in your hand, think carefully before you speak. Think about the stories, the warnings, the countless whispers of those who came before you. And if you feel an urge to say her name, to test the limits of fear and curiosity, remember this. Some doors are meant to stay closed. Some names are meant to remain unspoken. And Bloody Mary is a game you should never, ever play alone.